Video won't play. Sorry. Our intro video won't play, Pierre. I apologize. I don't know what's going on. I'm having a little technical difficulties. So we are live.
Here we go. Welcome back to the early edition of the Hockey Nation Live Show. This is Tuesday. Welcome, everybody. This is the Hockey Coach Guru, Coach Frenchy, directly from Florida. And we have to go all the way to the West Coast to find a co-host, Michael DeVillano. Happy Tuesday, everybody.
Good morning, Pierre.
Good morning.
We had a busy night with 4 games last night. First story I did want to comment on. So we saw that there was a suspension for Patrick Kane, not Patrick Kane, but Evander Kane, the other Kane, the lesser Kane, for 21 games. And this was for falsification of his COVID card. So one more thing piled on top of everything else for this guy, just bad decisions all around. What was your reaction to the 21-game suspension?
Well, I think just he's not going to play anyway for the rest of the year. I don't see how, San Jose already mentioned the player does not want him to come back. So I don't know what's the next thing for him. But at the end of the day, that's the part of the rules of the NHL is 21 plus after that last over $1.7 million.
Wow.
Because of those 21 million, he's on the bankruptcy. So it's just another one. The NHL also announced they don't going to have anything about the violation or the accusation from the Wild versus him, everything like that. They are not one to be a part of this. So that decision is not coming for this, but only about the vaccination card. Well, it was not a fake one or false representation. So that's what happening. So we better think this after that. I think it's bring him to what, November 30, I believe. That's and then they have to go all the way. But again, he apologized. He sent the letters or whatever to the NBA and NHL, PA, everything. And but at the end of the day, he's already out inside the locker room. The player doesn't want him around him. So we'll be interested what the story after that, what the San Jose Sharks going to do with him. Because at the end of the day, the player's teammate is no one to him around. So trade him.
I feel like, I mean, I don't know how this ends. Like, I feel like it was they were just looking for a way to have to give some salary relief to San Jose. Does he go like on some sort of long-term IR? Does this come off the cap for them?
Yeah, they removed that cap over there. Yeah.
So, all right. So I don't know what the long-term solution is. You mentioned that he's still in bankruptcy, so he's gone through that, and now he's losing $1.7 million. So this is like, it's crazy. What a crazy saga. Good morning to Enertap. Thanks for joining. And yes, I think you mentioned this, that the allegations by the wife that he bet on hockey were dropped. Not enough evidence to support her stance, which doesn't surprise. When he returns, he will be traded. Who's going to take this guy? Nobody's going to take this guy. He's going to go to the KHL.
I don't know. You know, it's always have a second chance in hockey. You can see the same situation with Tony DeAngelo, everything like that. And usually the time fix everything, right? The time it's usually give everything calm down and back to the next level or the next thing. And that thing could be happen. You know, at the end of the day, the guy is a good hockey player. He proved it last year. He had 20 goals, something like that. So he's a great, a prototype of Wayne Simon, forward on the, productivity, offensive. He's hard. He play hard every time like that.
He does.
So we'll be interesting. A team maybe looking for the playoff push. That'd be something they can look about this. They would cost them absolutely nothing, or that would be cheap to get him, honestly. So you never know. But again, he carried on a $7 million, I believe, on the salary cap. So that's another AAV a team need to add on their salary. So it's not everybody. But I don't know if Colorado could be a good location for him.
I do not see that. I can't see him going to any contender. And I think that San Jose is going to have to eat a bunch of money, obviously, or do they buy out this contract and then he just goes and does it? I think that they're going to have to buy him out, Pierre, and then I bet you he doesn't end up in the NHL. It's crazy because talent-wise, he's there. He's a big physical guy, but he's just never been a good teammate. like he's always had these problems. I mean, you look at the incident in Winnipeg, Buffalo was maybe the best place for him because nobody cares.
I don't know. I feel like I said, if they give a chance to Tony DeAngelo, Carolina could be another location.
Oh, man, I can't imagine him fitting in there. But I mean, the thing about Carolina is they have a tough coach, but I think eventually his personality is going to rear its head in the dressing room and people aren't going to want that. But you
again,
never know. You might be right.
Try to win, you try to get a next push, maybe, or something like that. You go over the problem like this, say, look, maybe we'll get him for 3 months, 4 months, and we try to win here. We don't try to get him a long-term contract or get him for 6 years, whatever it is. So I don't know. I just mentioned if he was some location, I believe, where the team maybe add some depth, like Colorado have no left wing anymore. He could be a great asset on that team. But again, and I said that he will be there.
Yeah. No, I get it. I really believe this all starts with San Jose having to buy him out. I just don't see that they're going to be able to trade him. I think I'd be shocked if someone would trade for him. But maybe. Never know. I guess we're going to see. Good morning to Kelly. Good morning to Chainsaw Man, who says someone's going to take him for sure. I realize. And Enertap says there's always a desperate team to trade time. Thinks they're one player away from winning the cup, and he can be a difference maker. I think just the reality is his contract's too long and too expensive for someone to take on that burden, even if they ate 50% of it. Maybe. Maybe. It's possible. Good morning to Johnny Golden. Thank you for jumping on. He offers scoring and physicality, which is very true. He's kind of an individualistic player, though. If you watch him, he's kind of one of those like power. He's a power forward, absolutely physical specimen, can really shoot the puck. But sometimes you feel like he's doing his own thing out there. But you're right. It's hard to come by goal scoring in this league. It's hard to come by tough guys. No team will take. He always has drama. We're gonna find out. Good morning to Kimberly. We have Kimberly and Kelly in the house, so that's awesome. We're excited to have both of you here. He'll be a rental for some team. And I think the only way this happens is, again, if they buy him out.
What happened is like this. So they will buy him out, right? He's only 3 years or $7 million. So he's going to get a $21 million right there. 66% of this is going to be, $12 million, right? Carry on this on 5 years, 4 years. So it's going to maybe next year San Jose will be, get hit. But my point, he can become a UFA. So a team like Edmonton can get him for $1 million for the rest of the year. And that,
you're right. You might be right.
It's a man. But again, like you said earlier, if he's buy out, that opened the door for him. Buy out. What is next? Maybe with something here, he can get like a suspension for this. We don't know yet after that, but we just assume it could be another route for him if he's good done after that. But I think like anybody else, he's not going to be again wearing the San Jose Sharks jersey. This is definitely not in my mind. It's not going to happening.
Enertab says, can you imagine him on a line with Nazem Kadri? That would be a nightmare because they're both like one guy is super self-sabotaging on the ice and one guy's super self-sabotaging off the ice.
But again, Kadri produced during the season and then, like you have to give him, he's already scored a goal this year and he's carry on this thing. McKinnon will be back tonight. A couple of news around the league. McKinnon back now. So in Washington, flew last night from Colorado, got 2 negative tests. So, again, the injury going bigger and bigger. Last night, it was Kucherov. From John Cooper this morning, he's going to be a long-term. Don't know yet how long, but it's not like a minor injury. It's a major injury now. So they're going to be out for at least a month and maybe more. So it'll be interesting to see that. Corey Perry was on the first line with Burning Point and Palat. During the practice yesterday. Will be interesting how he's going to be there tonight. But again, talking about injury, we talk about Nick Robinson, 10 weeks from the Toronto Marliన్స్.
No, really?
Yeah, so that's a big major blowout for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Whatever he was with the Marlins, after a bad check happening to him. So he's not broken, don't need a surgery. but the fibia is the damage about that leg. So minimum 10 weeks for him. So that's continuous, exactly what I said. It's just night after night about
injuries.
you know what I mean? So it's a bad injury for him. It'll be interesting about what will happen. Max Domi gonna be out for 2 to 4 weeks now
Saw that.
with a ribs. So he'll be out. The Colorado Avalanche put yesterday for long-term injury reserve now the goaltender Pavel Francouz and also the forward Stefan Matteau. So 2 other players add on that part of there. So that's a little bit the couple of thing happening. And then also the Florida Panthers active today, Kevin Connington, and the Toronto Maple Leafs active also Joseph Wool about that.
Wow,
so
really?
see, what happening there. So that's the last thing happening yesterday. And Kucherov is going to be a long-term also injury reserve the next couple of days after they knows exactly, what's going to happen with him about that part over there. So it's a major already some impact the major key players. Whatever you say, oh, you'll be fine in Tampa Bay. At some point, they're going to feel it. This Kucherov is a catalyzer of that team. He's a guy can run the team on an offensive side. But again, at some point, they cannot. Whatever you put Corey Perry or any other players, they're going to take the spot at Kucherov. And also, Point does not play the same level one with or without Kucherov. So big situation for the Tampa Bay for the next couple of weeks. What could happen with their standing if we turn out their record and their game?
I mean, the good news is that Stamkos has had a good start. You got to hope he stays healthy because he's had injury problems of his own in the past. Corey Perry seems to be making a good contribution, so I think that's good. They lost all those guys, the kind of the third line guys, but other guys have popped up. But you got to, like, how do you replace a Kucherov? There's just no way. I mean, that's
Tampa Bay's carrying right now. It's you mentioned Stamkos, but honestly, the one right now is Victor Edmond. Edmond right now right now he's going. If he considers what he's doing, he was going to win the Norris. He's an Edmond like 2 years ago, where he was dominate the league. 5 point already, 5 assists. But the way he skate, the way he play right now, he's another. You can see last season, something was bothering him as an injury all year long. He missed a couple of games, but he never been recovery at 100%. But this season, you can see another Edmond. Listen, we know already what he can, what he bring on the ice. But right now, he's Victor Edmond. We know. That helped a little bit the Tampa Bay, but again they're going to suffer of Kucherov be out for a couple of weeks.
I don't know if you saw. I think it was yesterday that Nashville decided to move Cody Glass to the AHL.
Yeah.
So this is like one of the this is not like a Vegas problem, right? Like this is a Cody Glass problem, and I think I said this before. He reminds me so much of Cody Hodgson. Like where he's just got the same, he was picked in a similar spot in the draft. He's got a similar personality, very good skill set, but he just can't cut it. It's very frustrating to watch.
Yep.
How long is Bogosian out for? I thought he was out for like 5-6 weeks, wasn't he?
Yep. 2 months.
2 months.
Yep.
So 8 weeks.
Yep. Talking about them also, not all they lost also the is it slurred? Was a SLUTR or SG
Slater? Oh, Andre Schuster.
So when he came back to get his spot, he got hurt also.
Oh man.
So that's another one is out for Tampa Bay. So some team is going to get hurt by the injury. So we found out that you can see look like it was always the same team. Montreal have a lot of injuries. Now it's Vegas have a lot of injuries and it's accumulate. Dallas have injuries. Robinson, Klenberg. It's just everywhere. So
it's tough, man. Well, we saw a pretty good game last night, Pierre. So the first game I think you were on for, which is the Rangers versus the Leafs. We saw Shesterkin in the net for the Rangers, and what a difference this guy makes. I mean, this is one of the top 5 or 10 goalies. I mean, maybe top 5 or 6 in the NHL.
Well, be honest with you, he's the best one at that moment.
Today
you have to give him this for the beginning 1 week today in the NHL play right now. He's the best goaltender by far. Completely, you can, I don't know, computer was 10 goals, 7 point dominate the week. Chesterkin right now dominate the NHL as a goaltender. Game after game, he gave the Rangers the W again in Montreal Canadiens. Last night he did again, same situation. He saved this part, and they gave them the 2 point they got because of him. He will be the best goaltender. He's the next Vasilevsky in the league, and the Rangers going to be, what? And I don't say Carey Price, but Carey Price he was maybe one of the best goaltender for 15 years in NHL, right? Over the reputation, what he did for Team Canada Junior, and if you follow his career, Carey Price been one of the top in NHL. Chesterkin is going to be the same kind of career in NHL.
I think you're right.
You cannot miss this. He is getting there. And again, that pro one more things. The goaltender, like a goaltender, Michael, does not show like a McDavid at 19, 20, 21 years old. It takes longer, the 24, the 25, 26 years old, the 23 years old, before they reach the full potential or they get the next level. That's the goaltender. The same thing with defensemen. So he's 25 right now, and 24, 25, and it's just unbelievable what he does right now. So
good morning to Dan Asham. Good morning to Vallejo. Our friend from Finland is here. I think I already mentioned Kelly and Kimberly have both joined us this morning, so we're excited to have you. Enertab says it's incredible to see the huge number of injuries in the NHL. I don't know if it's unprecedented, but I think the guys that are getting injured have a history of injuries. So Max Domi obviously missed a bunch of time. Kucherov has missed a ton of time. Bogosian's had injuries. So I guess it's not surprising. I don't know how you solve it. It's an individual thing, but it's all happening at once. Like, it's tough.
I will be honest with you. I will tell you, I may be wrong, but it's because you play almost 3 seasons.
Yeah. Compressed.
And short time. So you think about this. We play August last season, right? So you have 2014, play X number of the game. You have a gap, a space after that, and then you play in January, night after night, like one night off, one night off, all the way. Short term, and look what we have injury: Tampa, Montreal, Vegas,
deep run.
Right? And if those teams play a little bit longer and the playoff every time that, and they come back, is it a coincidence? I'm not sure. But again, the second thing I will add, it's a lot of injury, and it's a major player's injury. It's not like the third line, the fourth line, everything like that. You talk about Malkin, Crosby, Price, Weber, and those big names inside hockey get hurt right now. It's not the lower one. So it's a combination, I think, of time and short time of play hockey. And I believe it's a one area. I believe it could be the problem there.
Good morning to Oleg. He says, I'll be with you this evening and I'll watch Tampa, Florida SC between periods. Ellen Keefe is here. Thank you for joining us. Vasilevsky, get ready to be dethroned by Shesterkin. I think you might be right. He just shut the door on the Leafs last night.
Well, at the end of the day, yes, at some point he will do it. We have to give him back again to Vasilevsky. But listen, when you're going to get ball goaltender for the Team Russia, Michael, at the Beijing, China, for the Olympics, it will be impressive about that one over there. But he's the next one. I believe he's going to be one of the best. He was already see this years ago, but now he showed now what he looked like, and it's just unbelievable what he did accomplish again yesterday.
Good morning to Frank Salazar. Thank you for joining us. Russia seems to be at the forefront of producing stellar goaltenders in the last decade. Have they made that a focus? They have made it a focus. There's something going on there. We need to do a deeper dive. We saw this coming out of Finland for a long time. Sweden's produced goalies. Canada is the one that, they don't have any central. How do I put this? I've talked to our goaltending coach at Everett, and we have a very good goaltending coach, Pierre and James Jenner. You see, we've had Carter Cart come through our organization. We have Dustin Wolf. He's coached other goalies, and we were seeing it again, like best goals against in the WHL. So I talked to him a little bit about this. And the one thing that strikes me is, let's look at Canada specifically. There's no national focus on goaltending. We rely upon major, junior, and minor hockey to develop goalies, and we try to give them pointers. And there's a lot of independent goaltender theory, but even when you go at the national level, there's many voices. There's not one goaltending philosophy, and there's not one goaltending guru. And I think that hurts Canada a little bit, because what I think is happening at these other countries is they have one program to help develop goalies. And that's why we're seeing, even the US is doing, there's some good goalies coming out of the US. And I'm not saying that's why it's coming out of the US, but absolutely in Russia and Finland and Sweden, they're producing great goalies because they have one program, one philosophy, and one person in charge of it. So I think that's what we're seeing. So at some point, you've got to learn from that. If you go to an under 17, the goaltending coach for Canada will be different than the under 18, that will be different from the under 20. And these are temporary programs. So we don't see that focus to develop goalies on a national basis in Canada. And there's lots of goalies, and there's probably potential there. So I think that's kind of a weakness that we're witnessing. Don't forget about Bobrovsky. How is Bobrovsky doing, Pierre, so far?
I have a good start, honestly. He gave 1 goal the last game against Islanders. He gave 4 goals again at the beginning against Chicago. But he made a big save. He looked a little bit better. He changed a little bit his pad style that gave him a little bit more mobility. But, you have to give him credit for right now. He's 2-2. Surprised me they go with Spencer Knight tonight. Shocking for me a little bit. I put the rookie right away again at Tampa Bay Lightnings. I don't know, you're going to have some regrets over there, but they feel like the kids is ready to play again the big game. It's a big game of the week. So big rivalry tonight. And but again, for what Oleg said, Bobrovsky was there. He carried on the NHL for a couple of years, 2 back-to-back Vezina trophy, everything like that. But it's not changed in Russia. You have to go all the way to Vladislav Chetchak and 70s, and then you can follow every 10 years, always someone, maybe not the top of the world, but, you can see all the goaltenders in NHL 75, they go in with Russia, and you're going to see always 1 or 2 or 3, one of the best in the world. It's not a program just changed recently. You hear more goaltender maybe from Russia compare, but I think it's always been there that Russia always developed goaltender. Is it Naborov? I believe. Is it Naborov his last name, whatever it is?
Nabokov?
Yeah, like they always been produced good goaltender in NHL. Now you have the elite, the super elite, we can call them like Bobrovsky, everything like that. But again, so for me, it's not a surprise, like you mentioned, like Oleg. But right now, it's all about Vasilevsky for the last 2 years, and Shesterkin could be the next one in NHL for sure.
So Oleg says there's no national goaltending program. So that's interesting. I definitely want to look into this. I do think you mentioned a name that's very important, which is Vladislav Chetchak. And a lot of goaltenders, it probably started with Eddie Belfour, which is weird, right? Like in Chicago, they had Chetchak as the goalie coach. Belfour developed under him. I think Nabokov might have been one of the goalies under him. And I think that there's no, who's the big national hero for these other countries? So I don't know. I know Finland definitely has a program. And I think Sweden has done a great job at the kind of the club elite level of developing. So I don't know what the answer is in Canada, because there's obviously athletes. There's a lot of goaltenders that are big. They've got skill. How do you get them to that level where you're producing the top of the top? There's something missing there. Good morning, Yarmo. Thank you for joining. Shababilan. Was he in the 60s? Was he the goaltender that was – I'm not sure who this is, to be honest. I'll have to research it a little bit. Did you see Matthews miss the net in overtime? I did not see this, Pierre. Did you see that?
I did not see it, but I would tell you one thing. He played 23 minutes yesterday. First game comeback. He has 8 shots on the net, Michael. Wow. 13 attempts yesterday. 13 attempts. He was all right. And Keith said he's going to use Matthews like a defenseman this year.
On the point or?
No, on the TOI.
Oh.
So expect him and Marner. Marner played 24 minutes yesterday. But
we saw this in Edmonton, Pierre, and we saw it last year in the playoffs. This is not their issue. You need balance in the NHL. You see guys that struggle like this, where it's not that I'm saying he shouldn't play a lot, because you obviously see McDavid still getting 22, 23 minutes a game. So I get that.
I'll be honest with you, Michael. If they lose Morgan Riley, this team's going nowhere.
I agree.
Because he is a catalyzer, and he's maybe send them. Look, the stat yesterday: Sunday have 11 minutes, and Morgan Riley have 27 minutes, and he's the one carrying the offensive, the transition. I understand Marner carrying the puck, and I understand that, but they cannot lose Morgan Riley, Michael. You cannot find those kind of defensemen in NHL. He's a top 10, maybe the elite one, the one you need. For carry on the offensive, everything like that. Montreal don't have those kind of players like that, and I think that will be the blow out that team if they lose Morgan Riley. I don't know how they're going to find the money. I don't know what he's going to do, but again, and I hope for them, Jack Campbell is not become one of the top goaltender in NHL, because they have to pay him next season.
That's very true. And you know what? Honestly, he's looked very solid so far. It's not like their games have been high scoring. He's done a very good job, and they don't have Mrazek right now. But he's answered the call. I have to give him credit. We knew he was a decent goalie, but he's a little better than I thought. Finland has been goalie coaches program for a very long time, and many Finnish goalie coaches work abroad like in Russia. I agree. And I think this is what we saw in Finland. I don't see that happening in Canada. And I think when you talk to the goalie coaches, there's very good goalie coaches in Canada, but this kind of goes back to my point. Who's the goalie guy? There's not one guy developing goalies that helps coaches across Canada. There's so many of them, and I think that causes problems.
But it's friend Michael between, and I know Yamo is here with Vileo, but the Finland program, the Sweden program, I have a program for the bottom to the top.
Right.
They follow. It's like a final, right? They follow them all the way out, and when they put them out. So here in Canada, USA, and Russia don't have that kind of prototype of program like Sweden. And I don't know, it's because they don't have a number of players compared in Canada. Like example, we have the OHL, the WHL, and the QM, and you know what I mean. Like it's all everywhere. So it's not like. And UFC a little bit better because you have the 17, 18.
Well, this is what I was going to say to you, Pierre. Look at what's happening. The goalies like Spencer Knight, even like all the goalies that come through the U.S. development program, this is kind of my point. They have an elite program.
Yeah.
And we rely upon major junior where our best talent is spread out. Can you imagine in Canada, if you had a major junior the U.S. development team plays in the USAHL against older players. They're all 17 for the most part, and they're playing against guys that are 19 and 20 in the USHL getting ready to go to college. And so you gather the best 17-year-olds in the country.
Well, and earlier, Michael, they picked them earlier at 15, 16.
They do.
Right? And then he carry on then about that. The Matthews years, they carry on those games. They are most of those that year with Matthews all in NHL. Most of them were with Ski, McAvoy, and all those guys like that. So, that's the point behind that.
Absolutely, and that's kind of my point about like there's no national Canadian development program, and it's fine. We see great players coming out of major junior. However, we're always smashing these guys together. And you said it already, goaltenders take a long time. So if you're constantly changing the message to goalies, or you're relying upon them to have some goaltender coach they're paying, or, it's different philosophy everywhere, I don't think you're going to see the creme de la creme come out of that. And we're seeing it. It's not being solved. And you said a really interesting thing. So you look at the U.S. development program here. I'm just going to show you Austin Matthews' year. Then you know who the number 2 scorer is on that team? Sonny Milano. But if you look at, I thought that there was another player that's in there that I'm missing. Well, you have Dylan Larkin, Sonny Milano, Jeremy Bracco, Alex Tuck, Colin White, Jordan Greenaway, Luke Kunin, Christian Fisher, Anders Bjork. Like you can see, and Jack Eichel. Right? So that's the 1 year. And then down here, you got this guy named Jack Roslovic. And you look at Roslovic, I think he was in Charlie McAvoy. Like these are the elite of the elite, right? Like it's kind of crazy. So and then you think of the goaltenders, and they're playing every day together. This year, look at this year. Matthews, Roslovic, Keller, Kaczuk, Fisher. It's kind of weird that Bracco didn't turn out. He was such a good player. Kordarenko was good. Joey Anderson, like these are all guys in the NHL. McAvoy. Imagine you have on your 17-year-old team McAvoy and Adam Fox as the defenseman.
You forget also Ryan Lindgren, where he developed a bit later, but he's getting
Right,
better
you're
and better
right.
in NHL now.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Max Jones is way down on there, right? Caleb Jones was playing in this team. So you see, and then look at the goalies, like Ottinger's in there. You mentioned Joseph Wall just got called up. So I'm not saying these are the elite of the elite, but there's definitely something to that to help them out.
Yeah, just to insert to Kelly about this, the reason why minors don't split Marner and Matthews is because both of them, they request and they want to play together.
They want to play together.
It's been there since like Mike Babcock
I was just
years
gonna
ago,
say this.
and they never changed after that. So that's always been there. I understand sometimes frustrated, right? But they complete together. Exactly what Nylander and Tavares complete each other also at the same time. So that's the reason, yeah. And then finally, Kelly said Shesterkin still the game yesterday for against Toronto.
Yeah.
Not a concern about that. But Michael, 2 goal, 3 goal, and
1 goal.
1 goal last night. So Toronto, they are what? 2-1-1, I believe.
Yeah.
But with only 9-10 goals.
Not much.
Not much for the offensive they have, right? It's going to be fixed now. Matthews coming back, right? But at the end of the day, surprised to see that team right now that way, honestly. But again,
absolutely,
it will be a good dub. Amogus is here this morning. Don't forget, guys, to click on the like. That'd be awesome. Another great subject in the chat about this fun thing happening.
So you mentioned the controversy when Mike Babcock was there. Guys, this guy's one of the best coaches in the world. I don't give a crap what anybody says. In the end, Mike Babcock is a very, very good coach. And only in Toronto, you knew eventually they were going to turn on him. And for them to run him out of town, one of these issues was he was playing Zach Hyman with Austin Matthews. And Austin Matthews goes in and says, I don't want to play with this guy. Well, who's Zach Hyman playing with now? He's in Edmonton helping them. Like, he's able to play with, Drysdale and McDavid and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, but he wasn't good enough for Austin Matthews. Like, I think a lot of people realize the value of a Zach Hyman, and that was Mike Babcock who recognized that. This is a guy that never played an NHL game before he came to Toronto under Babcock. And he's like, yeah, this guy's good. He hustles. He can score. Like, why would we not? And everybody's like, oh, we need a Zach Hyman.
Yeah, and probably bring a good point also about that, right? Because you said Vizina and we talked that. And you're absolutely right, Farrell. We talked about this earlier, but that's right. What we said. When it will be a nomination, I know it's early, but at the end of the day, I think that'd be great about that. And on top, yes, is Batman Robin, of course, as you know what I mean. So, but yeah, that's what happened about that game over there. Zibanejad again, 2 points yesterday, step up for that team. And but again, Rangers win again with only 2 goals. And when you have a goaltender is going to carry on everywhere, Michael. So that's what happened yesterday. And both teams are a good goaltender. It'll be interesting what next for. It's funny because now Ranger is just a crazy schedule. They have to go now in Nashville and then come back in Canada.
It's wild, right?
Yep.
I want to point out again, Michael Bunting gets on the board. He only got 12 minutes last night, Pierre. But you look at the way he scored the goal. He was in the goaltender's shorts. He was like, this guy, this is what I don't get. He's not fancy, but he's got hands. He goes where there's goals and he can finish. Like, if you look, he's got 2 goals in 4 games. And look at last year, he had 10 goals in 21 games. So right now, his last 25 NHL games, he got 12 goals, 13 in his last 30 games.
Do you know what? He's on he can win the Calder Trophy.
You are right. I think you are correct.
Yep.
That is really interesting. I didn't think about that. But he's old, though. Is he 25 or 26?
He's going to turn 26, but he's still available because he's 25 when he started the season, I believe.
So it says he's 26. He's a 1995. So I don't think he's eligible.
I think the rule is 26, Michael.
Yeah, we should find that out. Wouldn't that be interesting if he was eligible to win?
I put him on my. I'm doing a video today about the top 15 for the Galter Trophy, and I put Michael Bunting there.
We should confirm that he's eligible because that would be very interesting.
Yeah.
By the way, are there problems with Varlamov? Yeah, Varlamov's hurt, right?
Again?
Varlamov for Washington is hurt, correct?
Islanders.
Or sorry, our Islanders is hurt.
Yes. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I know I'm late. Corey Hill, thanks for joining. We appreciate
Corey Hill from the Ottawa Senator. I'm sure you're smiling right now.
Nick Ritchie is not a good skater. He is very, very big and strong, and he's got good hands. If you're looking, you got to understand what Nick Ritchie is. He's going to get goals. He's always been able to score, and if you stand up to Nick Ritchie, he's going to beat you up. He's a very tough player, but his skating is definitely below average. And that's always been an issue for him. It's an issue for his brother, Brett. And that means he's not going to be Zach Hyman. Like Zach Hyman's the puck retrieval guy. I don't see him being effective that way. But we're going to find out. I think he'll get points, though. Toronto outshoots the Rangers 40-19. 1 goal. Love it. Yeah. And I think, Pierre, what you said is accurate. Yeah, Washington is Samsonov. Sorry about that. Toronto's got to figure out their offense a little bit, which I don't think we thought was going to be an issue. How about, okay, so let's talk about the other game for a second. There's 2 other games or 3 other games actually in the NHL last night. Seattle had a rough night against Philadelphia. Grubauer lets in 5 goals on 20 shots, and he's chased. We see goals from Ryan Ellis. Konechny gets on the board a bunch. McCann continues to get points, but really, this is rough for Seattle. It'll be interesting to see how many of these types of blowout games we have. What are your thoughts on Seattle right now after watching last night's game? Was this a goalie issue, or were they just totally out of their league against Philly?
You know what? Honestly, yes, of course, but the score don't show what they did. Carter Hart still the game at the first period. Carter Hart had a great game.
That's
but
good.
Again, I understand happening about that. 3-0 is hard to come back after the first period like this, right? And but again, I want to give credit for Carter Hart. He make 3 big saves during the first period. Because he did not have a good year last season, but
he struggled.
He showed for the Flyers to stay in the game, and then they score, took advantage of rebound. Konechny when he scored almost on his knee. If you try that, we have to give 6 front scorer for the Flyers yesterday. But you're going to get those kind of game for the Krakens during the year where they're going to perform, and then one game they're going to be flat, and that's happening overall for them. But again, I have to give credit for Hart yesterday, and I don't understand why they don't put Chris Traeger.
Well, I think that's going to come down to it because so far I've watched, the preseason games for Seattle. I watched the first few games, and I got to be honest, like Grubauer is really not square in the net. He's overcommitting all over the place, and it's causing problems. So I think you're right. I think eventually this is going to go to Drager.
Yep.
And he's not a bad goalie. Like, I think we were pretty happy with having him as the number 1 before they made the Grubauer signing. And I think this also says something about Colorado, where Colorado says, hey, listen, like he's good, but he's not like a world beater. So I think there's something to that. And I wonder how much of the pressure of being with the new team is on him. But it's just honestly, like in the net, he does not look set. He's not centered to the puck, and he's overcommitting all over. Like, how many times have you seen Grubauer totally out of the play? It's kind of crazy.
Yep.
I know Matthews wants to play with Marner, Kelly says, but Marner doesn't have the skills to play with them. I don't think that's true at all, Kelly. Like, Mitch Marner is highly, highly skilled and one of the smartest players in the NHL. His passes are messy and shots don't hit the net. I can't agree with any of that. I don't know about you, Pierre. Super.
No, I think the only problem, Mitch Marner, Michael, and it's happened. Those guys that play like this, he don't have a good shot, so the scoring never going to be there.
Yeah, he does not.
He passed the puck. Unbelievable. He passed the puck every time that. but again, he's not scoring. Michael, I want to mention too, because I do some, the time you're talking, I'm do some search. Michael Bunting cannot be a rookie because he's born September 17, and
Right.
the rules September
25th or
15.
Right.
So he turned 26 2 days later.
Right. So is he eligible then?
No, by 2 days.
No, he is eligible. He is eligible because he turned 2 days after.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yes, you're right. Yeah, he is right. Yeah, he is by 2 days. He is by 2 days.
So he made it by 2 days, Pierre.
Yes. So he can be the winner of this.
Interesting. Well, I think that's interesting because he's shown he can score big time. I don't know if they're going to give him the chance. Like they're burying him.
I don't know, but I mean, I was just because he's 26.
I love that. That's
it's not like something special. Johnny Golden, what's going on with Johnny Manson? It's easy, personal reason, something. It's a private, and that's what it. Yeah, nothing else at that moment. Other effect is a private, and it was not. It was undisclosure by the Montreal Canadiens. So we don't. Nobody knows. He's not like a lower body, upper body. It's private. That's it.
Interesting. Kelly says letting Hein walk was a huge mistake. I totally agree with this.
Yep.
They're going to really regret it. And we got to give credit to Kenny Holland. Like we direct a lot of criticism to Kenny Holland, but this in the end is going to work out very well for Edmonton on the ice.
Yeah, I'm always said I bet St. Louis minus 1.5.
What does that mean?
I think it was for the bet for the
Vegas. Okay. Too long on the road. I mean, Intertap, they might be on the road all year. That arena's still not done.
Yeah, because they announced a couple of days ago the opening night, everything like that, so it'll be done. Oh yeah.
I mean, is it the 23rd of October?
I don't know exactly the date. I thought it was the 29th, something like that. No, I don't know exactly.
Like we'll check into it. It's coming up really quick, and I got to be honest, guys. I don't think the ice is in at the arena yet.
I don't know. I did not look yet.
I'm gonna text them, but I don't think it's in. All right, Carter Hart made a wicked save last night. Yeah, you were saying he played amazing.
He played the first period. After that, he became. But again, it's a team. 4 goals for his game, 6 goals for Flowers. So it's the 10 goal already and 2 game. Claude Giroux participate, and it's a team we have to watch. It's another team in the Atlantic Division going to join the party with the Rangers, the Pittsburgh, the Washington, the Carolina Islanders, and we forgot the Devils. So that division is going to be a battle, a fight every single night. Every game counts for them. This division. So will be interesting, but you're absolutely right about that.
When will climate pledge be open is a really good question. It's not done, man. Tim Stützle and Formanton are incredible. They both are fast skaters. Yeah, they're looking good. Reinhardt on the third line with Lundell and Vetrano. What do you think of this, Pierre?
I don't know. Vetrano is on the first line. I thought it was Verhey. So maybe Verhey have I don't know. It's a game morning show. It's a game practice. So I don't know why Verhey is hurt, because I did not see anything else yesterday. He was play with Duclair. They bring Duclair on the top. They bring down Reinhardt on the third line. But this has been like this all year long. So CANVA is going to changing the players. The one produce, the one that's not produced, going to be up and down. They don't have I'll be honest with you, they don't have a number of the line where the right wing is going to be Orvis. Some night it will be up, some night will be down. Duclair will be up, sometime will be Reinhardt, and Tippel will be up every time like that. Now, Tippel was not there yesterday. It will be interesting if he's there this morning. But I did not look. I did not check their situation over there. I just checked the Montreal Canadiens. Hoffman should be in the lineup tonight, and Aaron Brooks together play with Brendan Gallagher. So for the Montreal Canadiens, I'm just watching the practice right now, and that's the situation happening about that.
Corey, you've asked this question in the past. Neither, I don't think, like Tim Stützle's already played a full season in the NHL. So he's played more than 25 games. He is not eligible to be consideration. Formanton, I'd have to check, but Stützle for sure is not.
Both of them.
Formanton too. I've never looked how many games Formanton's played.
Formanton played full year last season with Ottawa.
There you go. So neither one is eligible. You don't get to be a rookie forever. The only reason that Michael Bunting is he's played less than 25 games in one season, and he was under 26 by September 15th of this year. Brady Kaczuk will be wearing the C on Thursday. Do you see that happening? Is it confirmed that he's gonna be the captain on Thursday?
No, I have to tell you one thing. He did not, for some reason, he played only 23 games last season.
Who?
For Manson.
Oh, so maybe he's eligible. But Stützle definitely is not.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
So I want to correct about this. He played 20 games the year before.
Interesting. So he might be eligible, but he's not. I don't consider him a big contender. So that's interesting. If Brady Kaczuk is wearing the C, we would fully expect that. Maybe that was part of his negotiation. I'm not sure.
Is it announced, Farrell?
I haven't seen that.
I don't know. I'm not on Twitter yet.
Yeah, we should check it
Canadian
out.
Giant back in the house.
Good morning to the Canadian Giant has joined us. Arizona has been so bad, we have to bet against them. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this because I think they again start Carter Hutton. We saw a good game from the Czech goalie the previous game. I was surprised they went back to Carter Hutton. 6 goals in this game. Did he let in 8 in this first game?
Yeah.
I think he's let in 14 goals in 2 games.
Yeah.
So
8.83 goal average right now. He's become he's on the line to be the worst goaltender in NHL history.
So when we were at the game in Columbus, I text my friend from Arizona Coyotes organization. I said, he's going to have a 5.6 goals against average all year. There was no response. Normally I always get a response. I think they know this. I think this is part of the plan. All right. Yeah. And good morning to Canadian Giant. So the one thing I will note from last night, Jordan Kyrou gets 4 points. So that's good. But I think everybody's stats are going to be pumped up against Arizona. But a couple notable things. Klim Kostin, who was a high draft pick, big 6'3" Russian guy with talent, but just is taking a lot of time to develop, gets his first 2 goals in the NHL. So I think this is positive for St. Louis. And Jake Neighbors gets his first assist.
Yep.
I will say the one player who is, and I said this before, who looks really good to me for Arizona, which I think is positive for him, is Andrew Ladd. And I think Andrew Ladd is showing he looks like he's in really good shape. He's wearing a letter for this team. He's playing the way Andrew Ladd did 5 years ago. And I don't know if he'll get 15 or 20 goals, but this guy should be at the deadline, someone wants to pick up for the playoffs. He's a useful guy with Stanley Cup winning pedigree. So I think he's been a captain. I think this is a good player. So I'm excited because I thought his career was over. Kostin got 2 goals. It's his first 2 goals. Yeah. So I'm excited about that because I've always kind of kept an eye on him and I wasn't sure what was going to happen. He's an interesting player, big guy with skill and talent. And I think everyone's just been waiting for him to develop. But Jordan Kyrou looks really good for St. Louis. Like he is picking up right where he left off last year. The Zamboni driver is a better goalie. I think the emergency backup in Toronto is a better goalie. Like if Carter Hutton plays another game for this team, what is this saying? Like at some point, does the NHL say, listen, guys, get a goalie? Or play the other guy. Like you're putting into jeopardy the integrity of the game at some point. Because this is all on one guy. This is not a team issue. You actually see Coyotes got 4 goals last night. They can play. They got some good players. All right. I want to look at the other game because the St. Louis Arizona game is just a joke. But what was not a joke and who has not been a joke?
5 goals in 5 minutes, by the way.
Yeah, come on. It's crazy. It's so brutal.
We'll be interesting how many games Butnovich is going to get. I believe 2 game minimum, but I will not be surprised they go at 3 games.
How many games has Brady Kaczuk played, Corey? He's played for 3 seasons. He's absolutely not eligible. Why would we keep asking this question?
No. Kaczuk cannot, no.
No, he's played like 150 NHL games or something.
So
All right.
the key to understand the Calder Trophy, it's easy, guys. It's a if you play 25 game a plus, you cannot to be after that eligible for the Calder Trophy. So
Yeah.
for
He's
the
played
following
100.
year after that. So that's simple.
This is his 4th year in the league or 5th? I think it's his 4th year. So you're only
Yes,
a rookie
this
once.
year, yes.
Yeah, you're only a rookie once, and they give allowances for players that go up and down for their first couple of years, but he's just not happening. He can't be. Yeah, he's played an absolute ton of hockey, Vallejo. All right, Buchnevich got a headbutt us. Yeah, really unfortunate. All right, so I want to talk about Anaheim for a second. I was looking at Jamie Drysdale. He's not getting a lot of attention because he's in Anaheim. This is a 19-year-old defenseman, Pierre. He was, 5th or 6th overall in his draft year. And look at the players ahead of him, and you have to say, how many times does a 19-year-old defenseman step in and have this type of impact? He's playing well defensively. He's playing well offensively. Anaheim is 2-1. I think they're 2-0-1. So they've got 2 stars here, but one of them by the name of Jamie Drysdale. Like, this is kind of crazy. I don't think anybody expected this. He looks like a poised 25-year-old veteran out there when you watch him.
Yeah, but for me, is I understand what you tried by Jimmy Drysdale, but the key is John Gibson. John Gibson has been hurt last year, have a really bad year. 3 point something goal again average. Stollard played a solid game, but they lost 2-1. So they are right now 2-1-0. That's their record at that moment. But again, the defensive side is unbelievable. They gave 3, 4, 5 goals in 3 games.
43 shots, Pierre.
So I think at the end of the day, John Gibson is the key. But there's 6 defensemen. Fowler, I didn't see play Fowler for the last couple of years like that. Shattenkirk helping a lot. Drysdale, Manson, Langham, we know already. But again, it's a team right now. They transform a little bit more. The second thing I would say to you is there was the worst power play last year in NHL. The power play was so bad. I think it was 6.6 last season, one of the worst in NHL history. And this year, the power play changed with they bring Josh Ward, the ex-head coach for the Calgary Flames. Okay. You can see a change of the puck movement and power play without that. I don't want to disrespect Jamie Drysdale, I understand. But I just want to give you other things around the team, what's going on, and that helping the team together. Silverberg played together better. It's the team, I think, it's a little bit underrated because everybody put him already them at the bottom of the NHL. I don't say they will go in to make the playoff, but they are better what we think they are. That's my point there. Because they do the right thing, their game is better as a team together.
Pharrell among us says what I believe, which if you look at that defense, the only guy you might say, hey, who is he, is Joseph Mahura. But if you watch him, he's another good, solid 6 defenseman. But the other guys like Fowler has always been very solid. Shattenkirk, we know, has had a lot of success, including in Tampa Bay, winning a cup. Jamie Drysdale is showing he can run an NHL power play at 19. He played 21 minutes last night. And then Josh Manson, I mean, how many teams want Josh Manson? Like a lot. And if you watch Hampus Lindholm, you go, man, this guy legitimately on any other team is a number 2 defenseman.
The good things about Drysdale is he surrounds himself with Shattenkirk. So it's good for the young kid to be with a veteran defenseman with teaching him how you become a professional, how you have to do this, and talk to him on the bench, and that. So, but Drysdale, I'm not saying he's a Cam McCarr, but he's a prototype. Is going to be a Quinn Hughes. He's going to be one of the top defensemen in NHL when he's going to get older. But again, it's great for him to be surrounded. And I agree with Farrell. I think that defensive is underrated. And we don't mention yet Langholm. Another is going to be a UFA at the end. Manson is a home. So they have a couple of different players they complete together. At the end of the day, whatever it is, and I've been like this for the last 7 years. It's all depends on John Gibson.
Yeah, I agree.
It is Carey Price. We do in Montreal. That's what he is, John Gibson and Anaheim. It's always be go through by him if the success of the team or not. So it's great to see them. I agree about that one over there. So that's what happened about that. And to complete 2 questions, because we missed the power play for Johnny Golden or Intertap asked a question about the power play. They are not play on the same line. Intertap about Caulfield and Hoffman or something like that. I don't know if you go over the question.
Do you think Dominic Ducharme will have Caulfield and Hoffman on opposite sides of the power play?
Caulfield play with Suzuki and Hoffman play with Toffoli.
I want to say good morning to our friend Brad Marchand's son has joined us, as well as Greg John.
Greg up from both of them, fans of the Boston Bruins, where they are a little bit disappointed. Their team play only 1 game.
Go, go, go,
hey,
go,
Mike
coach.
Zuck. Mike Zuck back in the house. Allez, 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 mon ami.
Is this Mark Zuckerberg?
Mark Zuckerberg, yeah, possible. I don't know.
If Montreal scores 3 goals tonight, I'm happy. Yeah, they've had some trouble scoring, haven't they?
If they score 3 goals, they win. By the way, if you see number 65 tonight, it's Erik Carlson.
Oh, he changed where? Wait, on San Jose or?
Yeah, no hair.
He shaved his hair?
No, but he cut his hair.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So it's another new Erik Carlson. So I don't know where he did it, but it was a big thing about this morning. So Erik Carlson cut his hair. He have a short hair, and he carry on this forever.
That's funny. Yeah, because he always had like the swashbuckler.
Yeah, so every time that, and so I just want to mention this to you. Of course, he almost said 3-2 in OT, and but he invited Gay's book.
He invited Mark Zuck invited Gay's book. So another thing I'll mention is that Blake Coleman plays his first game last night, and he gets his first goal with the Calgary Flames. So that's good news for them. One guy that's still struggling, which I'm really shocked about, is Sean Monahan. We're just not seeing any impact from this guy.
Calgary is the second game over there. I think they played pretty good. It's a good game. They could win yesterday overall. They have a Gibson make a big save on OT, but overall, I think it was a good game, both of them. And again, that's the game where Calgary started now to go that way. So
I can't disagree with Corey here. Like Tim,
I agree with him. Again, I think you're absolutely right about this, Corey. I think he's going to be one of the best in that one over there
for sure. Who the heck was Kachuk's high stick penalty? I didn't see that. Oh, and you mean Matthew Kachuk?
Yeah. So the story about this, okay, Michael, is Michael Backlum. He's on the defensive side. He sent the puck and over the bench of Calgary. So at that moment is a 2-minute, but the puck, Michael, is about 20 feet on the air. So Kaczuk, he thought his mind, if he stopped the puck, he had no penalty. So he jumped on the air with his stick over his head. So they gave him about 20 feet and he blocked the puck and the puck come back on the ice. And he got a 2 minutes for interference. It's a rule in NHL. So he became viral and everywhere. And that gave you 2 things for me. How the player in NHL are their mind is so quick, and also their eye coordination to do those kind of stuff like that. It was really impressive to see that yesterday. But a great point. We did not mention this morning. Yeah.
All right, Pierre, let's wrap up. Good morning to Spec, by the way. He says good morning. Let's take a quick look at the games tonight. We see Canucks versus Sabres. Pierre, the Sabres are 2-0-0. Will this continue tonight?
No.
I think they might win. Sharks are 1-0-0 against the Canadiens. Will the Canadiens get their first win tonight?
No.
Panthers and Lightning. This is going to be the battle of the season.
Panthers.
This is going to be you think the Panthers will win? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Kraken against the Devils. Will Chris Drager start tonight?
I Maybe, I don't know, but it's not Blackwood in the net tonight again. Silverson's back in the lineup for the Devils tonight. Uh, And the Devils going to win a back-to-back game in NHL now. It's really difficult to win, unfortunately.
Spec says, do you think Jake Sanderson will have a similar impact as Drysdale? I think he's a different defenseman, but yes, he will have an impact when he comes next year.
Yep.
Drysdale reminds him of Makar, and I think that's a good comparison. I mean,
maybe not the same, right? I think McCarry have more offensive at Drysdale, but it's a title kid is going to be 60 point every time that you have
Right.
an offensive inside of him, and yeah.
If you watch Drysdale, I was critical of his defensive play, but there's nothing to be critical of. He is a pretty elite player. He's only 19, Pierre. Cale Makar did not come over till he was 20.
No, but at the end of the day, McCall is going to have a better career at Drysdale.
Maybe. Bruins got Philly tomorrow. They only played one game so far. So
Yep.
Kraken versus Devils. I think the Devils will probably pull this out, but the Kraken will be difficult. The Stars, man, they're 1-2-0. They got to get on track. They had a great game from Rupe Hintz, but their biggest problem seems to be in net right now.
For who? For Dallas?
Dallas.
No, problem is easy. Clember, Robinson out right now.
Yeah, that does not
And
help.
that's biggest and then they need more. Like you complain about the team do not score. Dallas can have help from Sergei, Radulov, and Ben. If you don't have your big gun, don't score, you're in trouble.
Should Calgary do a rebuild? Yeah, I think it's getting to that time, guys. I don't
They
think they
cannot do it, Michael.
rebuild. They cannot. Yeah.
If
I think
you do this, you're going to lose. You just signed Max Ram and they go to sign Codro. That would be bad for them if you do this.
I will say, I think you have a coach by the name of Mitch Love in the AHL who used to be an Everett coach and former captain of the Everett Silvertips. I think that they're looking at him and saying, hey, this guy can coach in the NHL. And he's there's no better prepared coach than Mitch Love. He coached under Kevin Constantine for a long time. I won't hold that against him, but there's one part about it. He's very, very structured. And I think the guys like him. He's a younger coach. I think that you'll see at some point Sutter be moved out. And I think they'll move on from Monahan at some point. Did he not send Dino a counter offer so he could be reunited in LA? Well, they're going to be in LA according to Pierre.
Yep.
All right, so let's close this out. Avalanche versus Capitals tonight. That should be an exciting game. Red Wings and Blue Jackets. I don't know if it's exciting, but I'm very happy with how the Red Wings are playing. Islanders are 0-2-0 and the Blackhawks are 0-2-1. So who breaks the goose egg tonight? I think the Islanders will win tonight, but let's see what happens.
It's going to be hard for the Chicago, but it's a game right now. You mentioned about this, like Montreal. Those teams, one of the two have to win for sure. One will win, but I think Islanders need. I think Chicago need more, but at the end of the day, Islanders are going to win that one. But it will be interesting. Los Angeles is going to beat Nashville, and just while two teams have a two opposite direction right now, and can wait to see Alabama. But Minnesota, Michael cannot score. So Kaprizov is not there yet. So it'll be interesting about that one over there. And a back-to-back game for Anaheim, unfortunately, with the McDavid Storm. That would be interesting to see that, but I don't see. Yeah. Funny thing about this, Michael, 11 game tonight and no game at 10 o'clock.
That's true. All earlier.
Yeah, all the West team are on the road right now.
Let's see, Coach. I think what you're saying is that will Evander Kane? I keep saying Patrick. Will Evander Kane have to retire? I don't think so. I think there's only 3 years left. I keep thinking there's 5 on his contract. So I think he either gets bought out or they retain salary and someone picks him up. But I could see him getting bought out and no one just wanting him. But I think someone will take one more shot at him.
Whatsoever, Daryl, he need money. And he will find a place to go. It could be KHL, whatever they call the league. He will find a way to get play.
Yep.
But again, I wouldn't be surprised he get buyout. Then after that, he got a location to play in NHL.
He's going to play.
I promise you this: one thing is going to get him because they will need Evander Kane. And at $1 million, so $2 million, Kane is worth it about that one over there.
True.
But he need to be on the right team with the right coaches, the right players, and the players accept this every time that. So would be interesting about what could happen about that. Caulfield punches a one-timer. They need more than one-dimer. Montreal need more like, a AK-47, something like that. Ottawa play Thursday against San Jose. Yes, sir. Kaczuk will be back on the ice. Will be interesting to see him. Glad to see him. Kane to the Kane. Kane to the Kane. I don't know this part. I still believe Colorado could be Kane, but I don't know if, the philosophy Joe Sakic, every time that fit with that part of there. I can understand that. But, a team looking more for a winger, that's what they're looking for. That'd be interesting to see that. And I think Vegas could be that team also in the future, could be this, because Vegas don't care. They just go all the way. They want to get the best product on the ice.
That would be the worst place for Evander Kane is Las Vegas.
Well, he's already been there.
He'll be in jail by the end of the season.
Johnny Golden said Brooks Altman played tonight. Yes, both of them played tonight, Johnny, and they all play with Gallagher at that moment. So that's what happened about that one over there. Spec is in the house this morning. Again, guys, we have a lot of people. First of all, thank you. We're grateful to having you this morning. And don't forget to click on the links. And Bunting, O'Connor, Seller have 3 points. Michael, one thing, Chetchak does not play yet for Detroit.
How? I mean, if you look at, he has 8 defensemen.
But he's a great defenseman.
So he's going to have a hard time getting ice time. I have to say, Mark Stahl didn't look amazing. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do with the Kaiser and Stahl by the end of the year.
But Montreal, he can call Steve Eisenman because we will take him right away.
Would you please take the Kaiser?
No.
Please take the Kaiser.
Don't forget, everybody, we'll be back tonight, 5 o'clock Eastern Time with In Our Tap for the warm-up show. And then at 6:30, the pregame show with the Montreal Canadiens. Tonight, we're going to present the live stream, the San Jose Sharks. And also, we're going to follow at the same time the Florida Panthers and the Tampa Bay Lightnings. And good news, Frenchy is back tomorrow night. I was supposed to be out, but now I have the schedule changed. So I'll be tomorrow night. Is a double header Wednesday night, tomorrow night. So going to be interesting about this. That's pretty much what we have. Anything you want to say about this?
I don't see him working in any Canadian market. I think he has to go to a quiet hockey market and just blend into the woodwork, like Arizona.
For all the people around the world, from Finland, Sweden, Australia, wherever you are, remember, you have greatness inside of you. Have an amazing, great day, everybody. See you tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock with the calls. Oh, Michael, wait. Don't go nowhere. Tomorrow, Greg Minervini back in the house tomorrow for the Florida Panthers, going to be with us tomorrow morning. I completely forgot about to let you know this. He confirmed with me. He was supposed to be here this morning, but unfortunately, they have a meeting. So he confirmed with me he's going to be there tomorrow morning, guys. You have a question about the Panthers. It'll be a great moment also, Michael, because he's going to be watching the game, of course, the Panthers, Tampa Bay. So he's going to have a lot of good hand for us. So Greg Minervini is going to be there tomorrow. That'll give me a time for me to break and no talk tomorrow.
Sounds good. I'm excited. I hope I can join you guys. I have to go. I have some meetings in the morning, but we'll set this up tonight so that it happens perfectly. I'm excited to have Craig.
Have an amazing, great day, everybody. Thanks, Michael.